Good day everyone, today we are reviewing the NP2, the latest electric model from Honda. For those who knows, they also have the NS2, which looks exactly same. It's a sibling car and it's like that because we have two main joint ventures of Honda in China. One is with Dongfeng Motor Corporation and they produce ENS series, and the other is GAC, Guangzhou Automobile Corporation. This is exactly their showroom and they produce the ENP series. The electrical way of Chinese Honda started from the X and V model, then they changed to M and V. This was the petrol to electricity conversion. They started production in about 2018 year, and those cars, they didn't even have the logo of Honda. They tried something new on the market. They didn't want to use their logos, and here was the brand which is called Simo. But the glasses, the windshield and many other parts had the Honda logo instead. Now this was a conversion of XRV or something of Vezel, Honda Vezel model. Then they made the ENS1, which already had the Honda logo on it, and basically this was upgrade of the M&V car. Now we have the NP2 ENS1 family, which is actually upgrade of ENS1, ENS2. They use the same battery pack and a lot of similar technologies. Today we will review this car in detail. It's very interesting for local market and for export because for now we have the official discount in the dealer shop about 3,000 United States dollars for a car with a 68.8 kilowatt hours, and the price in the showroom with this discount starts at about 20,000 United States dollars if you convert from RMB. Today I will compare this car to ENS1, NP1, because I know this car very well, and actually many overseas buyers buy these cars from China, so probably many of my subscribers know that car. This car has the same battery pack as the ENS1 in the higher grades with 68.8 kilowatt hours, with the CLTC range about 540 kilometers, and this battery pack comes from the CATL. As I know, the chemistry here, the NMC, so it's nickel, manganese, cobalt chemistry with formula 811. It means the 80% of nickel and 10 plus 10% of the manganese and cobalt. Compared to ENS1, this car has a bigger wheelbase, and now the wheelbase is about 2,730 millimeters, almost same as ID4, for example. And the total length of the car increased as well. Now the total length of the car is almost 4,790 millimeters, I think 86 or something. So the car generally became bigger. It's interesting to talk about the versions of this car because ENP2 has the only one version from factory. It also has two optional packages which you can add and make basically different configuration. But ENS2 made by Dongfeng Motor has 4 fixed versions of the car and no any optional packages. Yet the full loaded with options version will be exactly same from GAC or from Dongfeng. This only configuration is quite nice and rich. We have cameras 360 without any extra money. We have this lighted logo, which is very beautiful. We have this piano black plastic all over, which is more practical than any other type of plastic because you can polish it, you can paint it, despite the normal not painted plastic. Under the hood, we unfortunately do not have the front, same as ENS1. The quality of manufacturing, everything here, I personally like very much. Everything looks very well fitted. We don't have any frunk, as I said, but we have the liquid cooling and heating of the battery, which is very important, and also we have this sound insulation screen on the hood. The only option for wheels is R18, and the only option for rubber is 225/50 R18. Very important that by default Honda has the autopilot system, which means the full-speed adaptive cruise control made by Honda sensing technology, which is in all versions by default in ENS2 and ENP2. We also can add here the driving video recorder system, which is not included by default. And also the first time in electric Honda in China, they added the HUD head-up display, which is quite small and a little bit outdated, but anyway, quite informative. On pictures, you may think that these small wheels are dissounding with the quite long coupe-style body, but in life, the car looks very modern and, in my opinion, very streamed and quite beautiful. Let's go to the trunk. In this version, we have the electrically open trunk without any extra money, but you have to pay extra for the induction opening by leg, for example. And here is the trunk. Let's talk about it more detailed. The boot here I like very much. For this price of the car, it's extremely nice and beautiful. The finishing here everywhere good. The carpet material is quite nice, no any scratching plastic right here. We have the two lights. We have very square shaped and correct shape. We have some niches here, and we have the huge niche under the false floor, which is about maybe 70 liters. We have this organizing system right here, which is on the on some rubber fixation, which is also quite nice, like this. And we have the tire repair kit, which is also not typically for modern cars. Not all cars have it. Everything here is of rigid quality, like these shelves, even this shelf, which is continuing on the rear tailgate, and this shelf, and it inserts inside with some rubber feeling click, which is really pleasant. What else? The Honda did this thing which I like so much, which you just put inside and you fixate your false floor, and many cars, they don't care, many manufacturers, about something like this, but for me these small things are quite important. One more important thing that we have the flat floor when we fold the rear seats like this. And quality everywhere here is also quite nice. This quality basically is close to quality of Avatar 12, which we made video recently. The infography with size of this trunk you will receive right now. You can see it on your screens. Now let's talk about the body of this car. It's made totally from steel. The carb weight is quite low. It's 1,800 kilos, maybe like 20 kilos less or something. And we don't have any galvanized coating, no zinc coating at all. Unfortunately, BYD in new cars, even cheaper, like BYD and Up, they already make the zinc coating for all the for the entire body here. No any body panel or like body crates. We don't have the zinc coating at all. This is a great disadvantage for countries where you have snow, where you have a lot of rain and so on. And also one more thing which is definitely worse than in the old model like NS1 are these door handles. This one is made in the integrated in the door pillar, and it's very small. Look, even 3 fingers is already not convenient to put inside, and this gap is small for my fingers, for example, so I don't have any pleasure from using it. And the front door handles is not better at all. Here we have the small space where you have to put the 2 fingers, which makes some different weird associations, and also this has a little bit loose position. So I don't like these door handles, and I don't know any reason why they canceled this nice natural touch door handles like in the previous models. Now we are inside, and it's time to tell you about the optional package, which costs only about $1,500, but it includes a lot of things. If you have chance to buy it, you must do it. First of all, the audio system will be upgraded to Bose system with 12 speakers compared to the 6 basic speakers. There will also be a subwoofer in the trunk. The electric seats we have by default, but with optional package you will have the driver seat memory. Also you will have the driver and passenger front heating and ventilation, which is not included in basic version, and even the first time in the electric Honda in China you will have the steering wheel heating, which is extremely nice. The ergonomy here is taken from the ENS1, but the interior is much more modern. I like it much more. These understeering shifters used for recuperation changes, I tried it on ENS1 and I really like how it works. And even more surprisingly, in this optional package you can have natural leather seats, which by default are faux leather. So now we are at the second row. I sit behind myself. I feel extremely comfortable. ENS1 is also extremely comfortable in my opinion. Here we have extended wheelbase, but I don't feel much difference anyway. It's very nice second row with almost no central tunnel, maybe like 20mm center tunnel, with low floor, with a huge seat cushion and so on. Here we have the ambient lighting, which you you don't need to pay extra for that. The only one thing here which is worse than in ENS1 in my opinion is this sunroof. In ENS1 we had the huge panoramic sunroof, in MNV we even have the opening panoramic sunroof, but here is the small rudimentary sunroof which looks like from a car from 1995. I have no idea why they made it like that, maybe because of making the car cheaper. Nevertheless, here we have the deflector of the air conditioner for the second row seaters, we have the USB ports, we have quite convenient armrest which actually could be higher, but it's not bad at all. And now it's time to tell you about the second optional package for this car, which includes seat heating for the second row seaters. Also it includes some extra radars and automatic parking function, and also it includes the rear view mirror with streaming functions such as in top versions of ENS1. And to finish this episode, I must say that I have enough space over my head and I'm 178 centimeters high. I have about 10 centimeters despite this car is a coupe style. Now it's time to tell you about the system of the car. The central touchscreen is 12.8 inches diagonal. It's a good quality system without no lagging or something. Everywhere you can smoothly change the menu, and it has Apple CarPlay, which is very important especially for overseas buyers of Chinese cars. We have the English system from box, from factory. You can find it here in the system settings like that. You have language, you have even touch panel sensitivity. Let's make it high. We also have the camera's 360 menu, probably, yeah, we have it in the quick access menu. The quality is quite okay, maybe not the best on the market, but not the worst as well. Dear viewers, now I want to show you one feature which I extremely adore in this car, and which is maybe first time in this budget and in this market segment. And look at this symbol. When you press it, you see something like a bottle with fragrance with special sticks, and when you push it, the different amount of sticks are lightened. Like now we have 0, now we have 3. It means this car has from factory fragrance system integrated in the car. Unfortunately, it has only 1 scent, but it's very nice. It feels quite rich, and they super like the factory installed fragrance systems in cars. Basically, the cheapest car on the market, electric car, which I know has it, costs at least 5,000 United States dollars more, and probably it's a BYD C-Line 07. For this, I can get 5 extra points to this car. One more extremely important feature, that this car has the VTOL function from the box in all the versions. You don't need to pay for it, and the power is more than 3 kilowatts, which makes your car a huge power bank with 68.8 kilowatt hours of capacity. Now, traditionally, we will check the suspension and the ground clearance. In the front, the ground clearance is 193 millimeters under these plastic screens, and the suspension is taken directly from the Honda ENS1 with a massive lower arm of the suspension with the bearing changed on the bolts. It's fixed on the bolts, and we have the normal McPherson struts. Here we have the turning angle of the wheel, quite nice. Even here angle you see is a little bit negative, and also we have these lockers, but they don't help the car to be really quiet, unfortunately. Unfortunately, here the situation is worse because we have this heel, this plastic heel. Under it the clearance is only 144 millimeters, which is completely not nice and not good, and will be probably damaged while exploiting the car. And here under the battery, the ground clearance is 177 millimeters, which is actually quite nice. The battery pack taken from ENS1 directly. Ground clearance in the rear part is of course extremely huge. Here we have 270 millimeters. This plastic screen is not good at all, it's just a jelly. And we have the torsion beam, which is probably taken from ENS1 without any changes directly as well. There we have the interesting guard of the battery, which I haven't seen in ENS1. The torsion beam and the suspension itself is very rigid and very durable. No, our customers had problems with Honda suspension ever. Now it's time to perform the test drive of the new NP2. This is the only version, as I said before, but here we have the new motor, which is more powerful than it was in ENS1 and NP1. So let's check it out. The gearbox, like drive mode selector, is same as in the old Honda, so let's go. We are now driving the NP2, and this car is very close to ENS1, which I used to drive many times, but for those who haven't tried ENS1, I will tell you that basically the suspension is very moderate, is a good compromise between the handling and between the comfort ride. The biggest disadvantage in this car is the sound insulation, which I think is far not perfect, because I hear the tires even when I'm driving 40 kilometers per hour, and also I hear the sound at very low speed. I hear the sound of the reducer or of the motor, probably it's electric motor, so it's a typical electric sound which you don't have in many high-grade cars such as Zeekr. You will not hear it in many BYD, you will not hear it, but in some lower grade cars you will hear it. This Honda uses the Chinese-made motor. From other things, the driver's position is very nice. The view in the mirrors and view in the back window is very nice, despite this car is a coupe style, but I like how this car feels. You feel you can control it, you feel very, let's say, organic in the city. You feel that you don't need to get used to this car. The brakes adjusted as in the cars of 90s with the vacuum power assist of the car, despite of course here is electric, but you have to press the pedal quite deep. Now we are waiting at the traffic lights. I will show you some features of this car. Very nice, it has the English menu and the English translation is very nice of everything. Also, I really like this cluster, this gauge cluster, because here I have the very convenient steering of it by this wheel, and it shows a lot of information such as HUD display settings, such as the trip computer brightness settings, and it's very fast. Also the cruise control settings, it's very fast and smooth changing the information, despite the screen itself is quite small. Of course, it doesn't show you the navigation picture such as in some higher grade cars, but still I like how they did it, and I like this multifunction steering wheel with all these controls. What else we have? We have the HUD, which is the only car I know shows the compass, and the compass shows me that we are going to the north right now. We're heading the north. I don't know for what this information, but maybe it's not so bad. It can show you some navigation tips and the speed, of course. Also, we have the trip computer menu, and now it shows that we have the consumption for about 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Seat belts. Now it shows the seatbelt reminder. I don't know why. Okay, it was some bug. Yeah, and now we have the 22.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and I'm driving quite slowly, to be honest. This is too much consumption, taking into account the battery here is 68.8 kilowatt hours, so probably you can do in the city only about 300 kilometers range. As we are now at the traffic lights, I want to show you this console, which can be popped out like this. It had the wireless charging, of course, in all versions, because we have only one version of this car. We have the place for the key, and we have the USB charging ports. Also, I like this console because it's made flat with the seats, and it feels the car, it makes to feel the car more expensive and more spacious. Here also we have the space here, but basically you cannot put here a bag or something because there is no hack for the key. But anyway, the car feels more roomy in the front. The one thing I don't like, that this armrest is in very nice position, but it's too short. I would like it to be at least 10 centimeters longer, because half of my arm is just hanging in the air. Mirrors, very nice. We are now in sport mode. The drive mode selection is here, is analog button, and in sport mode you have very moderate acceleration from zero, from the beginning of the range like this, but the acceleration on the level of 50 to 60 is quite smooth and quite nice. Basically, I don't hear they added this power in this car, because the ENS1 was a little bit less power, but for me it felt totally same in driving. Now we are testing the cruise control system. It's provided by Honda sensing technology. It's full automatic, full speed automatic cruise control system, which doesn't need you to push the acceleration even when you start from the traffic lights, and it works quite okay. Now we will start from these traffic lights in the full acceleration in the sport mode. 2, 1, let's go. It's already 50. Okay, about 80. So this car basically gives you much more power after 40. Until 40 it's extremely smooth, and I'm sure it's made for the energy consumption, such as many new cars like BYD do the same, because this punch from the beginning, you never need it, you just waste energy on it unless of course you like to do it from the start.
Frankly speaking, I really like this car. Yes, the platform is not so new, and maybe it's a little bit outdated. It doesn't have cell-to-body integrated batteries, it doesn't have blade batteries like BYD or New Geely, and it doesn't have the super hi-fi audio system like Dolby from Geely E5 as well. But you get the real Honda, which is constructed like a Honda, where you feel that everything is in its own place, with a practical and well-made interior, and good as well. You have the cameras 360, you have have the full-speed adaptive cruise control system, you have even the fragrance system from the box, and you have optional package which costs very cheap, but it adds a lot of features to this car. So in my opinion, for that price, which is now after discount, this car is very remarkable and very underestimated, because the sales currently in China and for export are not so good. Please leave a comment if you like this car or you don't like this car. Also, you can leave the comment which car you want me to film in my next video. Please hit the bell, push the like button and subscribe to my channel. My name is Dennis, I live in China and I really love cars.